My manipulative husband kept giving me ultimatums saying if I didn't do everything perfectly, he'd divorce me. I called his bluff, and now he's begging to remarry. The whole thing started 3 years into our marriage when Damien realized I'd never actually leave. That's when the threats began. If dinner wasn't ready by 6, he'd threaten divorce. If I questioned where he'd been, divorce. If I asked him to help with anything around the house, divorce. If I bought the wrong brand of coffee, divorce. If I didn't laugh at his jokes, divorce. If I was too tired for sex, divorce. At first, I scrambled to meet every demand. I worked full-time as a dental hygienist, then came home to cook elaborate meals while he played video games. I deep cleaned on weekends while he golfed with friends. I paid half the bills despite him earning triple my salary. I scheduled his dentist appointments, bought his mother's birthday gifts, pretended everything was fine to our friends. The breaking point came on our 5th anniversary. I'd planned a nice dinner at the Italian place where we had our first date. He showed up 2 hours late, didn't apologize, then complained the restaurant was too crowded. When I quietly said I was hurt, he stood up and announced, "Maybe we should just get divorced then," right there in the restaurant, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Something in me snapped. "Okay," I said calmly. "Let's do it." His face went blank. "What? Divorce? You've threatened it 200 times this year. I started counting in March. Let's just do it." I pulled out my phone, opened a document, and showed him. I'd been tracking every threat, every ultimatum, complete with dates and contexts. His face went pale as he scrolled through months of "if you don't," and "or else we're done." "You've been documenting this?" he asked. "I've also been seeing a lawyer for 6 weeks," I said. "The papers are ready. I just need to file them." He tried backtracking immediately, said he was joking, said he never meant it, said I was overreacting. I signed the papers the next morning. The divorce took 4 months. He fought me on everything, suddenly desperate to stay married, contested the asset split, demanded I pay him alimony despite his higher income, told our friends I'd had an affair, called my boss saying I was unstable. But I'd prepared well. I'd moved money to a separate account, found a small apartment, lined up a roommate, documented every threat, every manipulation. By the time the decree was final, I'd already moved out. That was 8 months ago. Since then, he's called 47 times, texted 193 times, showed up at my work twice, left notes on my car. He sent flowers, apology letters, even a singing telegram. Last week, he started couples therapy alone, sending me the receipts to prove he's going. Yesterday, he showed up at my door with a ring, not the original wedding ring, a new one, more expensive, bigger diamond. "I've changed," he said. "I'll sign a post-nup. You can have full financial control. I'll go to therapy. I'll do whatever you want. Just remarry me." I almost laughed. Why would I remarry someone who spent 3 years holding divorce over my head? Because I realize now what I lost. He said, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm the person who did everything while you did nothing." I corrected. "That's what you lost. Your maid, your cook, your verbal punching bag." He got angry then. The old Damien surfacing. "You'll never find better than me." "I already have," I said. That's when my boyfriend Trevor came to the door behind me, coffee in hand. We'd been dating for 2 months. Met at a rock climbing gym. He'd just moved in last week. Damien's face went from red to white. "You're already with someone?" "I'm happy," I said simply. "Something I never was with you." I closed the door. Heard him shouting in the hallway. Building security had to escort him out. But that's not what worries me. What worries me is the envelope that arrived this morning. Inside was a single piece of paper, a photocopy of something I'd forgotten about entirely. Something from before we got married. Something that could ruin everything I'd built. And written across the top in Damien's handwriting, "We need to talk, or Trevor needs to know about this." I stared at the document for 20 minutes. It was the loan agreement. The one I'd signed when I was 23, desperate and drowning in my mother's medical debt. The one where I'd borrowed $50,000 from Damien's father under terms I never fully read. The one I'd been paying back in cash for 7 years, $500 a month. No receipts, no paper trail. The payments I'd told Damien were for student loans, but they weren't student loans. And Trevor thought I'd graduated debt-free. I'd told him on our second date that I was financially stable, that I'd worked my way through college, that I owned my car outright and had savings. All true, except for the part where I was still paying off this massive debt that technically shouldn't even exist anymore. The loan terms were illegal. I'd looked into it 3 years ago. His father had charged 18% interest, compounding monthly. No legitimate lender would structure it that way, but I'd been 23 and terrified, and my mother was dying of ovarian cancer. Insurance covered only 60% of her treatment. The remaining bills came to $127,000. I'd already drained my college fund, maxed out credit cards. My father had declared bankruptcy 2 years earlier and couldn't help. My mother's siblings wanted nothing to do with it. So when Damien's father offered to help, I signed without reading. My mother died 6 weeks later. I'd been paying ever since. The original $50,000 had become $89,000 with interest. I'd paid $42,000 over 7 years. Still owed $47,000. The math didn't make sense, but that's what happened when you let loan sharks disguise themselves as family friends. Trevor didn't know any of this. He knew my mother had died, knew it was cancer, didn't know about the money, didn't know I was still paying, didn't know I'd lied about being debt-free. I called my lawyer, the one who'd handled the divorce. "Patricia Langdon," she answered. "It's me. Damien found something." I explained the loan, the payments, the lie. She was quiet for a long moment. "How much do you still owe?" $47,000. "And you've been paying Damien's father directly?" "Yes, cash. Every month. He'd meet me at this diner on 5th Street. No bank records? None. So there's no proof you've been paying." My stomach dropped. "What? If he's been taking cash without giving you receipts, there's no documentation of your payments. Legally, you might still owe the full original amount plus interest. That's over $80,000. Yes. I sat down, hard. But here's the thing, Patricia continued. The loan terms are predatory, possibly criminal. I'd need to see the full agreement, but from what you're describing, he could face serious legal consequences for structuring it that way. So Damien's threatening to expose this to Trevor, but his father could go to prison? Potentially, though your ex might not realize that. I looked at the photocopy again. Damien's handwriting across the top, threatening to tell Trevor. What should I do? Do you want to tell Trevor yourself? Did I? Trevor was everything Damien wasn't. Patient, kind, split chores without being asked, never raised his voice, made me laugh, respected my space. In 2 months, he'd shown me more consideration than Damien had in 5 years. But I'd lied to him, not directly, but by omission. Let him believe I was financially stable when I was hemorrhaging $500 a month to a predatory loan. I don't know, I admitted. Well, you have options. You can tell Trevor yourself, call Damien's bluff. You can ignore Damien and hope he's bluffing. You can negotiate with Damien, or you can report his father to the authorities and let the chips fall. What would you do? I'd tell Trevor. Then I'd sue Damien's father for every illegal penny he collected. But I'm not you. I thanked her and hung up. Trevor was at work, software engineer, remote most days, but he'd gone into the office for a team meeting, wouldn't be home until 6. I had 8 hours to decide. I made coffee, cleaned the kitchen, reorganized my closet, anything to avoid thinking. At noon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. So, Damien's voice. Smug. Did you get my letter? What do you want? I want you to hear me out. Meet me for coffee. 1 hour. That's all I'm asking. And if I don't, then Trevor gets a very interesting phone call about your little financial secret. That loan was predatory. Your father broke the law. Silence. Then, my father was helping you. You signed willingly. Under duress. My mother was dying. You still signed, and you've been lying about it for years. He had me there. Fine, I said. 1 hour. The Starbucks on Maple Street. Thank you. I'll see you at 2. He hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, hating myself for agreeing. But I needed to know what he wanted. Needed to understand his angle. I arrived at 2:15. Made him wait. He was sitting in the corner. 2 coffees already on the table. He'd remembered how I liked mine. Oat milk, 2 pumps vanilla, no foam. You're late, he said, smiling. You're lucky I showed up. I sat across from him. Didn't touch the coffee. I'm not here to fight, he started. Then why are you here? I miss you. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You miss having a maid. I miss my wife. Ex-wife. He flinched. It doesn't have to be ex. I'm with someone else now. Trevor. He said the name like it tasted bad. What does he do again? Software something? None of your business. Does he know you're $47,000 in debt? There it was. Does he know, Damien continued, that you've been lying to him about your finances since day one? I haven't been lying. Omission is lying, says the man who threatened divorce 200 times. I was stressed. Work was overwhelming. I didn't mean it. You absolutely meant it. He leaned forward. I'm in therapy now. Real therapy. 3 times a week. I'm working on myself. Good for you. I've changed. People don't change. I have. His voice cracked. Please, just give me another chance. 1 dinner. Let me show you. And what? You'll keep my secret? I'll forgive your debt. I froze. What? The loan. All of it. I'll talk to my father. Get him to tear up the agreement. You'll be free. In exchange for what? 1 chance. 1 real chance to prove I've changed. You want me to leave Trevor and give you another shot, and in return, you'll erase $47,000? Yes. I stood up. Absolutely not. Wait. I'm not for sale, Damien. Not anymore. It's not about buying you. That's exactly what it is. You're trying to manipulate me again. Different method. Same goal. His face hardened. Then Trevor finds out tonight. Tell him. You're calling my bluff? I'm calling your bluff. I walked out. My hands were shaking when I got to my car. I sat in the driver's seat for 10 minutes trying to breathe. Then I drove home. Trevor wasn't there yet. Good. I needed to tell him myself, before Damien could. I pulled out my laptop and started writing. Everything. The whole story. My mother's cancer, the medical bills, the desperation, the loan, the illegal term, the cash payments, the lie. I wrote for 2 hours. When Trevor came home at 6, I had a 5-page document ready. Hey, he said, kissing my cheek. How was your day? We need to talk. His face shifted. That sounds serious. It is, but not in the way you think. We sat on the couch. I handed him the printed pages. Read this, all of it. Then we'll talk. He took the papers, confused. I watched his face as he read, saw the confusion turn to concern, turn to something I couldn't quite identify. When he finished, he set the pages down carefully. So, he said slowly, your ex-husband's father gave you a predatory loan 7 years ago. You've been paying it off in cash, and you didn't tell me because you were embarrassed? Yes. And now Damien is threatening to expose this unless you get back together with him. Yes. And instead of keeping it secret, you're telling me yourself? Yes. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he started laughing. Not mean laughter. Genuine amusement. What's funny? I asked. You really thought this would make me leave you? It's a pretty big lie. It's not a lie, it's an omission. And honestly, I get it. We've been dating 2 months. You don't owe me your entire financial history. But I told you I was debt-free. Are you in danger of defaulting on anything? No. Are you asking me for money? No. Then why would I care? I stared at him. My credit card debt is $8,000, he continued. From when I was unemployed last year. I've been paying $300 a month. I didn't mention it because it felt embarrassing. We're even. You have credit card debt? Everyone has something. Medical bills, student loans, car payments, bad decisions. It's called being human. I felt tears starting. Hey, he said, pulling me close. I'm not mad. I'm actually impressed you told me. That took guts. Damien's going to call you anyway. Let him. I'll block the number. He might show up at your work. Then I'll call security. I'm not leaving you because your manipulative ex-husband is trying to blackmail you. The loan is illegal. I could report his father. Do you want to? Did I? I don't know. Part of me wants to be done with it. Part of me wants him to face consequences. Then we'll figure it out. Together. That's when my phone rang. Damien. I sent it to voicemail. He called again. Again. On the fourth call, Trevor took my phone. Let me handle this. He answered. Put it on speaker. Finally, Damien's voice. I've been trying to reach. This is Trevor. Silence. Oh, listen carefully. I know about the loan. I know about your father's illegal lending practices. I know you're trying to manipulate my girlfriend into getting back together with you. It's not going to work. You don't understand? I understand perfectly. You had someone good, you treated her like garbage, and now you're desperate to get her back. But she's moved on. We both have. Leave her alone. I love her. You love controlling her. There's a difference. Trevor, you seem like a decent guy, but you don't know what you're getting into. I know exactly what I'm getting into. A relationship with someone honest, hardworking, and brave enough to leave a toxic situation. Now, if you call again, text again, or show up anywhere near us, we're filing for a restraining order. Are we clear? More silence. Then the line went dead. Trevor handed me back my phone. That felt good. I kissed him hard. Thank you. For what? For being nothing like him. We ordered Chinese takeout that night, ate it on the couch, watched terrible reality TV. Trevor fell asleep halfway through, head on my shoulder. I sat there, phone in hand, waiting for Damien to call back. He didn't. Not that night. Not the next day. By the end of the week, I started to relax. Then my coworker Bridget pulled me aside after work. Hey, some guy was asking about you in the parking lot. My stomach dropped. What did he look like? Tall, brown hair, nice suit. Said he was your brother. I don't have a brother. That's what I thought. I told him I didn't know you and walked away. But he was definitely watching the building. Damien. I called Patricia immediately. He's stalking you, she said flatly. Document everything. Times, locations, what he said. File for a restraining order. Will that work? It'll create a legal record. If he violates it, he goes to jail. I filed the next day. Took Trevor with me to the courthouse. Filled out forms detailing every unwanted contact. The calls, the texts, the showing up at my apartment, the parking lot incident. The judge granted a temporary order. Damien had 10 days to respond. He responded with his own lawsuit. He was suing me for alienation of affection, claiming Trevor had deliberately destroyed our marriage, asking for $500,000 in damages. This is insane, I told Patricia. It's also completely baseless. Alienation of affection isn't even recognized in our state. He's just trying to scare you. It's working. Don't let it. This will get dismissed. Focus on the restraining order hearing. The hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks out. In the meantime, Damien's lawyer sent letter after letter. Accusations, threats, legal jargon designed to intimidate. Trevor's company offered to pay for a lawyer. Employee wellness benefit, his manager said. We don't want our staff dealing with stalkers. The lawyer, Curtis Pemberton, was sharp. Late 50s, gray beard, no-nonsense attitude. Your ex is desperate, he said at our first meeting. Desperate people make mistakes. We'll use that. He subpoenaed Damien's phone records, proving the 193 texts, 47 calls, multiple voicemails. He got security footage from my apartment building, showed Damien screaming in the hallway after I closed the door. He contacted Bridget, got a written statement about the parking lot incident. By the time the hearing arrived, we had a file 2 inches thick. Damien showed up in a suit, clean-shaven, looking respectable. His lawyer argued that he was simply trying to reconcile, that his attempts at contact were heartfelt, not harassment, that he'd never threatened me. Curtis stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to submit Exhibit A, a recording of the defendant's phone call with the plaintiff's boyfriend. Trevor had recorded the call. Legally, in our state, only one party needed to consent. The judge listened to Damien's threats, his manipulation attempts, the barely contained anger in his voice. When it finished, the judge looked at Damien. Anything to add? Damien's lawyer tried to object. Something about context. The judge wasn't interested. Restraining order granted. Mr. Reeves, you are to stay at least 500 feet from Ms. Morrison at all times. No calls, texts, emails, or third-party contact. Violation results in immediate arrest. Do you understand? Damien's face was bright red. Your Honor, I just want... Do you understand? Yes. We left the courthouse in silence. Trevor squeezed my hand. It's over, he said. Not quite. He still has the loan documents. Right. That afternoon, Curtis called. I did some digging into Damien's father's lending practices. You're not his only victim. What? He's done this 7 times in the past 15 years. Always the same pattern. Family friend in crisis. Private loan with illegal terms. Cash payments. No paper trail. 7 people? That we can prove. Could be more. Have any of them reported him? No, they're all embarrassed. Don't want it public. What if I reported him? Then you'd be the first, which means you'd be opening yourself up to scrutiny. Your financial history would become public record. It would be messy, but he'd face consequences? Potentially. The state attorney might prosecute if the evidence is strong enough. I thought about it for 3 days. Then I called Patricia. Let's do it. You're sure? I'm sure. He's been preying on desperate people for 15 years. Someone has to stop him. She helped me file a complaint with the state attorney's office. Submitted copies of the loan agreement. My bank records showing cash withdrawals matching the payment schedule. Bridget's testimony about the parking lot incident, which connected Damien to his father's activities. The assistant state attorney, Helen something, called me 2 weeks later. We'd like to move forward with an investigation. Would you be willing to testify? Yes. It might get ugly. Defense attorneys will attack your credibility. I don't care. Good. We'll be in touch. That was 4 months ago. The investigation is still ongoing. Meanwhile, Damien violated the restraining order 3 times, showed up at my dentist office, left a note on Trevor's car, sent flowers through a delivery service, Each violation added days to his jail sentence. He's currently serving 45 days for contempt of court. His father hired a team of lawyers, fighting the investigation, claiming I'm a disgruntled ex-daughter-in-law making false accusations. But they found 2 of his other victims. One agreed to testify. The woman whose daughter had needed surgery for a brain tumor. She'd borrowed $65,000, paid back $78,000 over 9 years, still owed $43,000. The math was exactly the same as mine. Helen called me last week. The grand jury is meeting next month. We're confident we'll get an indictment. For what charges? Criminal usury, fraud, possibly loan sharking. He could face 5 to 10 years. Trevor and I got engaged 2 months ago. Small ceremony planned for next spring. Just close friends. His parents are flying in from Seattle. My father, now recovered from his bankruptcy, offered to walk me down the aisle. I haven't paid Damien's father in 7 months. He sent one threatening letter through his lawyer. Curtis responded with copies of the criminal complaint. Haven't heard anything since. My therapist says I'm doing better. Less anxiety, fewer nightmares. I don't jump every time my phone rings anymore. Trevor started teaching me to rock climb properly. I made it to the top of a V4 route last week. He cheered like I'd summited Everest. We're looking at houses now. Nothing fancy. Just something with a yard. Maybe room for a dog eventually. Last night, I got an email from one of Damien's father's other victims, the one who'd agreed to testify. She thanked me for coming forward, said she'd been carrying shame for 12 years, that seeing someone else speak up gave her courage. She included a photo of her daughter, healthy, smiling, graduating college. She made it, the email said. Because of the loan, even though it nearly destroyed us financially, she got the surgery she needed. But we shouldn't have had to choose between our daughter's life and financial ruin. I showed Trevor. You're doing a good thing, he said. Doesn't feel good. Feels exhausting. Most good things are. This morning, I drove past the diner where I used to meet Damien's father, the one on 5th Street. It's closed now, for lease sign in the window. I didn't feel anything. No anger. No satisfaction. Just emptiness. Maybe that's healing. Maybe healing isn't about feeling better. It's about feeling less. Less anger, less fear, less need for revenge. I still have $47,000 in debt hanging over me legally. The state attorney says if his father is convicted, there might be restitution, but that could take years. In the meantime, I'm saving $500 a month, the money I used to give him, putting it toward the wedding, toward our future house. Trevor insists we split everything 50-50. I told him about Damien making me pay half despite his higher salary. That's not how partnerships work, Trevor said. We're a team. Sometimes I still can't believe this is real, that I'm with someone who treats me like an equal, who doesn't threaten to leave every time I make a mistake. My dentist office is doing Secret Santa this year. I drew Bridget's name, got her a gift card to that spa she likes. She pulled me aside yesterday. How are you doing? With everything? Better. Getting there. Good. You deserve better than what you had. Thanks for having my back. Always. Normal conversations. Normal life. Normal problems like Secret Santa and holiday scheduling. This is what I fought for. Not some dramatic victory. Just normalcy. Peace. A partner who respects me. Trevor leaves his socks on the bathroom floor, forgets to buy milk, stays up too late gaming on weekends. He's not perfect, but he's never once threatened to leave me over any of it. That's the bar now. Basic human decency. The trial for Damien's father is scheduled for March. Helen warned me it could be rescheduled. Could take months. I'm prepared to wait. Because this isn't just about me anymore. It's about the woman with the daughter who needed brain surgery. It's about the 5 other victims Curtis found. It's about the future people who won't fall into this trap. Damien gets out of jail next week. His lawyer filed another motion to modify the restraining order. Wants to reduce it to 100 feet. Curtis is fighting it. He hasn't learned anything, Curtis said. Guys like this never do. I believe him. Last week, I saw Damien's mother at the grocery store. She saw me, looked away quickly, pushed her cart in the opposite direction. Good. I used to feel guilty about destroying their family reputation, about putting Damien in jail, about going after his father. I don't anymore. They destroyed themselves. I just stopped pretending everything was fine. Trevor is making dinner tonight, attempting pasta carbonara from scratch. I can hear him in the kitchen, cursing at the recipe, probably making a mess. I should probably help him. But I'm sitting here, laptop open, writing this all down, processing. My therapist suggested journaling, said it helps with trauma. She was right. Seeing it all written out, the threats, the manipulation, the escape, the aftermath, makes it real. Makes it clear I made the right choice. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd stayed. If I'd kept scrambling to meet Damien's demand, kept quiet about the loan, kept paying Damien's father forever. I'd still be miserable, still walking on eggshells, still believing I deserved to be treated that way. Instead, I'm here, in an apartment with someone who loves me, planning a future, fighting back against a system that preys on desperate people. That envelope Damien sent, the photocopy with his threatening note, sits in a folder with all the legal documents. Evidence for the trial. Sometimes I take it out and look at it. A reminder of what he tried to do, how close he came to manipulating me again, but I didn't fall for it. I called his bluff, told Trevor myself, took control of the narrative. That's the difference between who I was and who I am now. Who I was would have met Damien secretly, would have tried to negotiate, would have probably given in to his demands just to keep the peace. Who I am now knows my worth, knows I deserve better, knows that peace isn't worth compromising my values. Trevor appears in the doorway. Dinner's ready. Fair warning, the sauce might be a little lumpy. I like lumpy. He grins. You're just saying that. Probably, but I'll eat it anyway. We sit at our small kitchen table. The carbonara is indeed lumpy, also slightly burned, but Trevor's so proud of himself that I eat every bite. How'd the writing go? He asks. Good. Therapeutic. You going to let me read it? Eventually, when it's done. No pressure. Take your time. That's another thing about Trevor. He gives me space. Doesn't push, doesn't demand immediate access to every thought in my head. With Damien, privacy was suspicious. If I wanted time alone, he'd accuse me of hiding something. If I didn't share something immediately, he'd interrogate me. Now I have a partner who trusts me, who understands that some things take time to process. My phone buzzes. Helen, the assistant state attorney. I have good news. The grand jury indicted Damien's father on 12 counts: criminal usury, fraud, and loan sharking. Trial date is set for March 15th. That's soon. We have a strong case. The evidence is overwhelming, but I need to prepare you. His lawyers are going to attack your character. They'll bring up the divorce, claim you're bitter, say you're fabricating this for revenge. Let them. You're sure you can handle it? I've handled worse. After I hang up, Trevor is watching me carefully. Good news or bad news? Good news. Trial date is set, March 15th. I'll take the day off work. Come with you. You don't have to. I want to. We're a team, remember? That night, I sleep better than I have in months. No nightmares about Damien showing up, no anxiety about the trial, just deep, dreamless sleep. When I wake up, Trevor's already left for his office meeting. There's a note on the kitchen counter. Coffee's ready. You've got this. Love you. Simple. Supportive. Everything a partner should be. I pour coffee and check my email. Another message from one of Damien's father's victims. This one asking if she should come forward too. I respond immediately. Only if you're ready. No pressure. But the more of us who speak up, the harder it is for him to deny it. She writes back within minutes. I'm ready. Tell me what to do. I forward her information to Helen, add her to the growing list of people brave enough to tell their stories. By the end of the day, 2 more victims have contacted me, both willing to testify. Helen calls again. This is huge. With 6 witnesses, he can't claim it was an isolated incident. We're building a pattern of predatory behavior. What happens if he's convicted? Prison time, likely 5 to 7 years. Restitution payments to all victims. Permanent record. He'll never be able to do this again. Good. The weeks pass quickly. Work keeps me busy. Trevor's parents visit for a weekend, and they're wonderful. His mother, Patricia, different Patricia than my lawyer, brings homemade cookies and tells embarrassing stories about Trevor's childhood. His father, Greg, is quiet but kind, helps fix our leaky faucet without being asked, doesn't pry about the legal situation, just offers support if we need anything. This is what family is supposed to be like. People who show up, who help, who don't hold things over your head. Damien's release date comes and goes. Curtis confirms he's out but hasn't violated the restraining order yet. He's probably been warned that any violation means serious jail time, Curtis says. But stay vigilant. I do. Check my car for notes every morning. Vary my route to work. Stay aware of my surroundings. But Damien doesn't appear. Maybe he's finally gotten the message. Or maybe he's planning something worse. I push that thought away. Can't live in fear forever. March 15th arrives cold and gray. Trevor drives us to the courthouse. Helen meets us at the entrance. Ready? She asks. As I'll ever be. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. Damien's father sits at the defense table, expensive suit, confident posture. His lawyers flank him, equally polished. They make me look like the bad guy before anyone's even spoken. But then Helen calls the first witness, the woman with the daughter who needed brain surgery. She testifies about the loan terms, the crushing payments, the years of stress. The defense tries to discredit her, suggests she's lying, that she understood the term, but her testimony is solid. Her documents are clear. The math speaks for itself. Next witness is a man who'd borrowed for his wife's cancer treatment. Same pattern. Illegal interest rates, cash payments, no receipts. Then another victim, and another. By lunch, the pattern is undeniable. Helen calls me last. I take the stand, hand on the Bible, promise to tell the truth. Damien's father's lawyer, a sharp woman named Victoria, immediately goes on the attack. Isn't it true, Ms. Morrison, that you recently divorced Mr. Reeves's son? Yes. And isn't it true that divorce was contentious? It was necessary, but contentious. You fought over assets. You had him arrested for violating a restraining order. Because he violated a restraining order. My point is, you have a vendetta against this family. I have a problem with predatory lending practices. Or you're a bitter ex-wife trying to destroy your former in-laws. Helen objects. The judge sustains. But Victoria keeps pushing, suggests I fabricated the loan documents, suggests I'm colluding with the other victims, suggests this is all an elaborate revenge scheme. I stay calm, answer every question truthfully, stick to the facts. When she's done, Helen asks me one simple question. Ms. Morrison, did Mr. Reeves Sr. give you a loan with illegal terms? Yes. Did you pay him back over 7 years? Yes. Did you come forward because you wanted revenge or because you wanted to stop him from hurting others? To stop him from hurting others. No further questions. The trial lasts 3 days. Witness after witness. Document after document. The math is damning. The pattern is clear. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. When they come back, Damien's father stands. His confident posture has cracked. On the charge of criminal usury, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of fraud? Guilty. 12 guilty verdicts. 1 for each count. The judge sets sentencing for 6 weeks out. Maximum sentence is 10 years. Damien's father is taken into custody immediately. No bail. Outside the courthouse, Helen shakes my hand. You did it. You stopped him. We did it. Trevor hugs me tight. I'm proud of you. The other victims gather around. We stand there in a circle, strangers connected by shared trauma and shared victory. One woman, the first one who'd contacted me, starts crying. I can finally sleep at night, knowing he can't do this to anyone else. That's when it hits me, the weight of what we've accomplished. This wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, about protecting future victims, about saying no to people who think they can exploit the desperate. We exchange phone numbers, promise to stay in touch, form an unlikely support group. Over the next few weeks, life returns to something resembling normal. Work, wedding planning, house hunting. Trevor and I find a place we love, Small blue house with a fenced yard, big kitchen, room to grow. We make an offer. It's accepted. Closing is scheduled for April. Damien's father's sentencing happens first. Helen calls me the day before. Would you like to give a victim impact statement? Yes. I spend the evening writing. Keep it simple, direct, no theatrics. The next day, I stand before the judge and read, Mr. Reeves preyed on me when I was at my lowest. My mother was dying. I was drowning in medical bills. I was desperate. He exploited that desperation. He structured a loan designed to keep me trapped. For 7 years, I paid him every month, watching the debt grow despite my payments. The stress affected my health, my relationships, my sense of self-worth. But worse than what he did to me is knowing he did it to others, to parents trying to save their children, to spouses trying to help their partners, to people who had nowhere else to turn. He made his money from human suffering. That's not business. That's cruelty. I ask that you give him the maximum sentence, not for revenge, but to send a message that this behavior will not be tolerated. The judge listens, nods. When it's time for sentencing, she doesn't hesitate. Mr. Reeves, you engaged in a systematic pattern of predatory lending that destroyed families and exploited vulnerable people. This court sentences you to 8 years in state prison, followed by 5 years probation. You will pay full restitution to all victims. You are permanently barred from any lending activities. 8 years. It's not enough. It'll never be enough, but it's something. Trevor and I leave the courthouse holding hands. It's sunny, warm, first real spring day of the year. It's over, I say. Finally. What do you want to do now? Go home. Watch bad TV. Order pizza. Normal stuff. Normal stuff. The most revolutionary concept after years of chaos. We do exactly that. Order pizza with extra pepperoni. Watch a cooking competition show. Fall asleep on the couch before the winner is announced. When I wake up, Trevor's carrying me to bed. Sorry, he murmurs. Didn't mean to wake you. It's okay. He tucks me in like I'm precious. Like I matter. That's what I was missing with Damien. Being treated like I mattered. The wedding is in 6 weeks. Small ceremony at a local garden. 50 people. Simple vows. No drama. My father asks if I want him to walk me down the aisle. I say yes. He's different now. Humbler. Recovery from bankruptcy changed him. Made him realize what matters. I'm proud of you, he tells me over coffee. For leaving. For fighting back. For building something better. Thanks, Dad. Your mother would be proud too. That makes me cry. Happy tears. Mom died thinking I'd be okay. She'd given me that money, those secret savings, to escape if I needed to. She'd known. Somehow, she'd known. The wedding day arrives perfect and clear. I wear a simple dress. Nothing fancy. Trevor wears a navy suit. Our friends and family fill the garden chairs. Bridget is my maid of honor. Trevor's best friend Connor stands as his best man. The ceremony is short. We wrote our own vows. Mine. I promise to be your partner, not your servant. To stand beside you, not behind you. To be honest, even when it's hard. To choose you every day freely without fear. His. I promise to respect you always. To share the load. To listen. To never make you feel small. To be the kind of man you deserve. We're both crying by the end. The reception is at a nearby restaurant. Good food. Better company. Dancing. Trevor's father gives a toast. To my new daughter. May your marriage be everything your first one wasn't. Everyone laughs. It's okay to joke about it now. Damien is in jail for contempt violations. His father is in prison. The restraining order is permanent. I'm free. We honeymoon in Costa Rica, zip lining through rainforests, swimming in waterfalls, eating fresh fruit for breakfast. Trevor gets food poisoning on day 3. I take care of him without complaint. That's what partners do. When we get back, our house is ready. We move in on a Saturday. Friends help carry boxes. We order Chinese food and eat it sitting on our new living room floor. This is what normal looks like. 6 months after the trial, I get a check in the mail. Restitution payment. $42,000. Every penny I'd paid Damien's father, plus interest. The remaining $47,000 debt is forgiven as part of his sentence. I'm free. Actually, free. Trevor and I put the money toward the house. New roof, updated kitchen. Build a small studio in the backyard where I can have hobbies. I take up painting. Discover I'm terrible at it. Don't care. It's therapeutic. Life settles into routine. Work, dinner together, rock climbing on weekends, game nights with friends. Sometimes I think about Damien. Wonder if he ever understands what he lost. Probably not. Guys like him never do. They're too busy being victims of their own behavior. I heard through mutual friends that he's dating someone new. I feel sorry for her. Hope she figures it out faster than I did. But that's not my responsibility. I can't save everyone. I could only save myself. And I did. A year after the wedding, Trevor and I are sitting on our back porch. It's sunset. Golden light. Birds chirping. Happy? He asks. Very. Any regrets? Only that I didn't leave sooner. He squeezes my hand. You left when you were ready, I guess. And look where you are now. I look around. At our house, our yard, our life. Yeah, I say. Look where I am now. That night, I burn the photocopy. The one Damien sent. His threatening note. Watch it curl and blacken in our fire pit. Trevor sits beside me. Doesn't ask what I'm burning, just sits. That's love. Quiet support. Being present without demanding explanation. The ashes drift away on the evening breeze. And with them, the last remnant of my old life. I'm not the woman who scrambled to meet impossible demands anymore. I'm not the woman who accepted threats as normal anymore. I'm not the woman who stayed silent about predatory behavior anymore. I'm someone new, someone stronger, someone free. And that envelope Damien sent, the one that was supposed to destroy everything I'd built, it ended up being the catalyst for his own destruction instead. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just living well, building something real, choosing yourself. That's what I learned. That's what I tell people who ask how I found the courage to leave. You don't find courage, you build it. One small decision at a time, one boundary at a time, one truth at a time, until one day you realize you're not afraid anymore. You're just free.